You know how some expansion packs are really just more of the same? Spore Galactic Adventures isn't one of them. It adds ground-based adventures to the space phase of the game, and even better, a creation tool that lets you assemble your own adventures. That tool is really robust and fun to use, just like all of Spore's creation tools. There are some flaws here, and Spore's earlier and less compelling phases went untouched. However, these new adventures, along with a leveling up mechanic for your captain, give the space stage more variety and give you plenty of reason to return to Spore. Galactic Adventures comes with plenty of built-in adventures, and they come in several different flavors like story adventures, combat quests, and so on. During the space phase, you'll now be given missions to beam down onto a planet and perform the adventure. You can also play them outside of the phase if you like as standalone adventures. These adventures are mechanically like the creature phase of the game, so you'll have your social and combat abilities and move about the planet in the same way. However, you'll have multiple goals to complete, like talking to characters, fighting creatures, fetching items, protecting creatures, and so on. They don't take long to complete. Because they're limited to 8 acts, it might take 10 or 12 minutes to complete the lengthiest ones. Because adventures can use any built-in or user-created content, from buildings to creatures to vehicles, they offer a surprising amount of visual and gameplay variety. Some of the built-in adventures have you discovering how a bill becomes a law, and getting a band back together for a big concert. But perhaps you have your own idea for an adventure. If so, you can use the adventure creator to make your own. Describing everything you can do would take a long time, but you can use your own creatures in it or download anyone else's, assign dialogue, terraform the planet, add special effects, set creature behavior. The whole thing offers exciting possibilities, and while there's a learning curve, creative players will be making great adventures in no time. And that's just as well, because some of the adventures that come with the game are a bit buggy, like one where robots that are supposed to kill Godzilla wouldn't follow us and forced us to bail from the adventure. So let me give you a personal example of what you can do. I wanted to create an adventure around Greek mythological hero Perseus. In the adventure, you talk to Perseus, who asks you to fetch for him the 4 items he needs to defeat Medusa. I created 4 different areas and populated them with creatures to fight and other inhabitants. There's a swamp with furies, a graveyard with demons, an enchanted forest with minotaurs, and a crystal village with harpies. After you complete each mission, Perseus sends you for the next item. At the end, you and Perseus defeat Medusa, and Pegasus springs forth and congratulates you. End mission. So obviously there are tons of possibilities, and you can expect to lose hours of sleep if you get into the creator. There are some drawbacks though. You can't get too intricate or the complexity meter may fill up and you won't be able to add any more items or effects to the adventure. Because you're limited to 8 acts, you may not be able to get as detailed as you want or assign behavior in exactly the way that you want. There are some technical drawbacks too. Getting large buildings to be flush with the ground can be a pain even if you use the terrain leveling tool. And because player buildings weren't necessarily created to be seen up close, there are weird issues with collision detection and texture pop-in. And finally, if your captain isn't equipped for a particular situation, you may not be able to complete the adventure at all. Luckily, the other big addition is a leveling up mechanic for your space captain. As you roam about space and play adventures, you'll gradually earn the ability to choose new items and perks like weapons and social techniques. In turn, a more powerful captain can complete the harder adventures. It gives the space stage a great sense of forward progress, and the adventures give that stage all the charms of the creature stage. It's a truly great mix. Galactic Adventure's best aspect is that it brings something entirely new to Spore. Yet what it brings is a good fit for what was already there, and gives creative minds a lot of freedom to scavenge the depths of their own cleverness. There are some small flaws that may annoy you, but there's no doubt that Spore fans should pick up the expansion. If you're new to Spore, all the better to grab Galactic Adventures and the original. Assuming, of course, that you like having fun, and you like expressing your creative side.